This is the Mark V Supra Street Hunter wing, and in my opinion, it's arguably the best looking wing for the Supra. This wing was part of the Street Hunter widebody kit that was introduced at the 2019 SEMA show on TJ Hunt's A90 Supra. As fluid and elegant this wing is for the body lines of the Supra, it does come with a steep price tag. But if you're on a budget, as most of us are, you may find yourself settling for a replica. Today, we cover what the differences are and if the authentic Street Hunter wing is really worth its premium price point.
Today we got my guy Willis here, good friend of mine. He's got a white Supra. He actually has the replica version of the Street Hunter wing. Should we start with mine or yours? What do you think?
I think we'll probably start with yours.
Biggest thing between these two wings is the price. The Street Hunter wing comes in at about $1,800, and then the replica over here we have comes in at about $1,000, right? It's actually a big difference because it's half the price.
And after doing some research, it turns out the replicas are actually a quarter of the price, depending on where you buy them from.
Outside of price, the biggest difference I noticed personally is the carbon fiber weaving. It goes in the opposite direction. For some reason, it seems like this wing is a lot thinner than the replica. The replica seems to be like it's much thicker.
I actually have this little piece right here that's popping off, this right here. Compared to this side, if you want to compare it between both sides.
Oh yeah, I do see it, yeah. It's like a bubble.
I'm not sure what caused that. Maybe water got in there through maybe the gap that I have here.
Yeah.
So only judging from the carbon fiber, it seems the quality of carbon on the replica doesn't compare to the Street Hunter.
We got the side pieces on the wing as well. So this comes in carbon fiber. The Street Hunter wing comes in fiberglass. In terms of the holes on the side where you put the screws in, it gives you a nice flush fitment on the inside so you don't have screws sticking out like the replica version has. I also noticed that the wing itself is a lot skinnier on the Street Hunter as opposed to the replica version. But I'm thinking because it comes in carbon fiber, it might have a whole different structure overall. When it comes to fitment, if you guys are getting the Street Hunter wing, I'm not sure how yours was mounted. The best way to do this is to mount it together first, mark the holes, and then drill and then attach it. You don't want to put the side pieces on first because then you have no play when you go to put the centerpiece on. If you put it on that way, you're probably gonna have a big gap between the fiberglass side mount and the centerpiece. I'm not sure if it's because of it being a rep or if it's because how they mounted it, but you'll notice that there's a gap here. And that's the biggest thing that I've noticed on most Street Hunter wings is a gap between the center carbon fiber mount and the fiberglass side. It's usually more towards the back.
Now, there are a few factors when it comes to fitment, such as install technique and quality control in production. Replica or not, I've seen some authentic Street Hunter wings with gaps as well.
I have no gaps over here on mine. I mounted this myself. I didn't take it to a shop. Like I said before, just if you mount it together and you put it on the car, you should have no issues at all. So we just watched the cars. As you can see, the water does get in here. I haven't noticed any issues with it getting inside the car, but Willis did mention that he did have an issue with his battery.
Water just goes straight through. It was coming actually through here, these two holes that I have right here, and then somehow just got into my battery. So I had to install actually a foam here.
Oh, you have a gasket.
Water doesn't get through
after you mounted it.
Correct.
When drilling the holes for the Street Hunter wing, I would try to stay away from making larger mounting holes since the flow of water coming in at once would be greater.
Most people try to put a gasket on and it does give you a bit of a gap between the body of the car and the wing. I chose not to do it that way because I just didn't want to have that gap there. If you do decide to do that, it's going to give you fitment issues because you'll notice on here, on the inside, you have a big gap up there. Honestly, either way, I feel like no matter what route you go, you're gonna get water in here. Like there's just no way around it.
Because of the issues, having water, I think, come through
here.
Yeah,
I've had water.
It just went straight down through here and through my battery and literally went through everything.
With mine, I literally just used the bolts. I drilled through here myself and then I put gaskets hoping that it would do something, but it really didn't. The biggest downside to having the Street Hunter wing is the weight of the wing. So when it gets really cold outside, I can't leave this up because I've almost knocked myself out a couple times. For some reason, these gas shocks don't really hold up the weight of the wing. It just literally collapses sometimes. In warmer weather, it's fine, but because of the weight of the wing, you have to kind of be careful if you're living in colder states or wherever you're at.
Mine's probably maybe a tiny bit little heavier.
Nah, this is definitely heavier.
Is low-key a little bit fatter.
Hey, yo, yo.
Okay, now on to the next difference between the two wings, the aerodynamics.
Your angle is just much more better for downforce because it's aiming towards a little bit higher, so it goes kind of up. Mine just goes straight flat.
So I'm pretty sure when it comes to this wing, TJ Hunt, I'm not sure if he designed it, but I know it's basically his partner company. Pretty sure there was some type of functional design to the wing. It does seem pretty functional. It is slimmer, and I would assume you would want to have a lighter, slimmer kind of wing on the back, especially for higher speeds. Whatever angle I had when I put the wing together before I attached it to the car, I had to just mount it the way it was. When you purchase a 300 wing, they give you terrible hardware. Literally, like they give you these skinny black bolts. If it rains the minute you put them on, they get rusted out the next day. I definitely recommend going to any hardware store and picking up some stainless stainless steel boats. I actually did have to use their hardware for the fiberglass just because it was so specific and I didn't want to crack anything with the fiberglass. It's one of the downsides to having fiberglass. And that's why I don't feel like this wing is worth $1,850, because if you're gonna pay $2,000 for a wing, you should have elite hardware. Pretty sure your hardware is probably better than mine, to be honest. So if you get the Street Hunter or if you get a rep, I definitely recommend just getting your own hardware, 100%. I didn't even know it was a rep until he said something about it. To pay $2,000, I completely understand. If you don't want to spend $2,000 in a wing, don't do it. But when it comes to fitment, I highly doubt that has anything to do with the wing itself. This wing is number 57 in production, which is pretty early. So if you're getting yours now, chances are it's been replicated so many times over and over and over that the fitment could possibly change over time.
Now, at the time of editing this video, I went to the website to check the price, and it looks like Street Hunter just released their V2 version of this wing. With the new wing, you get a newer design carbon section, new wing stands with extra mounting positions, along with the Street Hunter branded end plates. The biggest thing they finally added is a template for drilling. However, we are not sure if it comes with stainless hardware.
In a nutshell, guys, if you guys are in the market for a Street Hunter wing, for me personally, with this car, I haven't put anything replica on this car yet. For me, it's probably like, I just want to keep everything authentic. But if I was in a position to do it over, I probably would have ended up with a rep because I didn't want to pay the price that it cost for this wing. I started doing this early on. So when I started building the Supra, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago, there wasn't that many parts available. So for me to get a replica Street Hunter wing, I didn't really know where to get it from at the time. It's your car, do what you want. I didn't realize until he said something about it. Thought he had a real one. Because I don't really go to people's car and really like look that close. Like if you have a Street Hunter wing, you know what to look for. So it's your car at the end of the day, do what you want with it. With that being said, until next time, guys, make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.